Hey there, hi there, ho there, slow there, no more there. It's the spy. Hey, 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 yo, la 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 la
Whoa,
la
whoa,
la
whoa, whoa,
life. Woo 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 woo.
whoa. Yes, life,
Spice. Oh,
life,
spice. Oh,
life,
spice. Oh,
life,
speak of spice. Oh,
life, life.
spice. Oh, life.
Yes.
My name is Chris.
And I am Angela.
Angela, how you doing? How are you doing today? How you doing, Angela?
Angela's doing pretty
How's
good
it going?
today. It's going
It's going.
well.
Is it
It is
slowing?
going well.
Are you showing
I'm showing.
that we're growing?
Yes, we're growing. We
Okay.
are growing.
So, guys, today we're talking about insecurities and understanding them. What does that mean? Understanding our insecurities.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, and I was telling Angela, I said, some people just say, yeah, they admit they have some insecurities.
Yes.
Some people say, I don't think I don't have it. But I think realistically, somewhere in there, some people may sometimes get insecure about something.
Yes.
It doesn't necessarily have, there's probably some that's more common, would you say, than
That's
others?
true. There are some that are common.
More common than others, but.
And also some people that experience insecurity that you would never, ever would think that they'll be insecure.
Right. I think to some degree. Now, do you think that it shows more, or maybe it is more, or acknowledged more on the female side, maybe, or you think it's even?
I think females show it, outwardly more. And I think males show it more. They have it more on the inside. They, because the persona of the male is I'm tough, they should, like insecurities on a male is considered weakness. So I do think it's there, but we don't see it.
I'll say this, brother, I have them, or someone else has them, or a male or female, whatever. I don't like them.
No, it is. Yeah, you're right. Because there's nothing positive about being insecure.
I don't like them. And I find that most of the time it's in our mind.
That's true. That is totally true.
Yeah. Most of the time it's in our mind. We think more of ourselves, or we think people thinking about us or perceiving us some way, and they may not be thinking 2 cents about us.
And I think that's the thing. We are assume that people are thinking about us when they don't. You know how you have heard the saying, nobody ain't thinking about you.
Yeah, we know.
Nobody think about you.
Well, you ain't nobody.
Who are
think
you?
you are?
Why you think somebody's thinking about you?
And then you're so insecure.
But in some cases, some people are just, I don't know what to say, but I would say this. I'm gonna say this. Everybody goes through this, so you are not alone.
Yeah, everybody's so creative. So what we're going to do, we're going to discuss some. There's a site. This is called happierhuman.com. This is written by Nicole Krauss. And she looks at some of the biggest insecurities, some common ones that people have, about 19 of them, but we'll discuss some of them. Some of the what I think is the more common ones.
Yeah, let's discuss the more common ones, because there's just a lot of them out there. We can go on all week or all month about insecurities.
So before we do that, I like how she said here. She said, "What are insecurities?" And it talks about what the Oxford Dictionary states that are insecurities. What does it say there?
It says that insecurity is uncertainty or anxiety about oneself and lack of confidence.
Yeah, so I think there's some form of that, and it talks about why we could be that way. Of course, we're not born that way, but there could be some sort of influence. It could be how we grew up. It could be experiences in life. It could be some little touch of something in the DNA. I don't know.
But if you think about it, I know we're not born, because when you have a sense or conscious of other people, what they have. I would say this. Let's say a baby or a toddler could be insecure that they don't have a toy, but what do? They go over there and take it. But I don't know if that's insecure though. But at a certain point, a child does display insecurities. But I do think it does start, because you do notice that in little kids, they'll be a certain way. But yeah,
Yeah. Um, so that's something to think about. Also, how people take it. So
Mm-hmm.
I can have an insecurity and it's like light and you kind of move on. There's some people that can have a similar thought or insecurity and they take it harder or they make it deeper and it goes worse because they can't get out of it. It's kind of like you're getting deeper in the pit of your own insecurities and it gets worse. So,
Oh yeah,
and it can happen with any of us. I just put
exactly,
myself as an example.
exactly.
So, and they can come from all kind of stuff. So it doesn't like where do they come from? Everywhere,
Yeah. Oh yeah,
anywhere.
anything can make you insecure.
You literally can start pulling it out of thin air. You can have a bad dream.
Mm-hmm.
You can be driving, and next thing you know, like your brain is in left field somewhere.
And what's interesting in this day and time, there are things that are invented to create more insecurities. Everybody's on their phones now. Social media can make you insecure, but we'll discuss some other. Let's go on.
Yeah, I must say this. It says that I'm gonna explain something. I'm gonna read something that she says, and then I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
explain it. So she says insecurities come in all shapes and sizes, much like people do. No
Mm-hmm.
matter how big or small, ignoring them will only magnify the problem and send you in a downward spiral towards self-loathing and social crippling. Now, stopping there, somebody may say, "Wait a minute, ignoring them." It's a difference between ignoring them and putting them to bed. The
Yeah.
goal is to put it to bed. So if you have one, don't just say, and then it comes back. What you have to do is say, all right, let me put this in this. So that's different from just trying to ignore it because that doesn't close it. Because, like we said before, most of them are up in here.
Yeah.
So you got to find a way to say, okay, I'm putting this to bed and being done, sending off to
Yeah.
delivery, not just saying, pausing on it and then coming back on.
And that makes sense because it's like you're giving it closure.
There you
So
go.
bringing
That's a good way
closure
to
to
put it.
your insecurity.
Yeah. You can't chase it down all the way to the end of the earth sometime.
Yes.
If it's not there, it's not there. It's nothing to be. So number one, I am not attractive as other people. That's number one.
Mm-hmm.
That's not in any particular order. Just is just the first one that's mentioned. It could be number one. I don't know. You think that's a common one?
Yes, because that's the thing. Everybody, and you think about it today. So many people are trying to change how they look, especially when you're getting older, or they try to change the color of their skin. They're trying to change how the nose look. There's filters, and I've used them. And people that are not insecure and people that are insecure, all sorts of people use filter, but some people use filters because they're insecure about their looks. But yeah, I'm not as attractive as other people. You're comparing yourself to other folks, and other people are using the same thing, the same filters. They got their insecurity too. It's like you got everybody with their insecurities competing
It
against
could
each
be
other.
something that you have, some flaw you have, or something you perceive as a flaw that you're going to put extra sauce on.
Yes.
Here, the writer mentions Krauss mentions her nose,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm sure somebody else may seem like don't even see whatever she see. I have one. Like for me, I worry about my hair thinning and all that, and I'm probably the one that worries more than anybody on the planet. Some people probably don't think nothing about it or care about it. It is what, like when you say it is, but the reality, it is what it is. But Angela know I be going, oh, we're talking about, I don't want to do that. I didn't talk to her a million things to do. So I think I do have an insecurity about that. I don't lose my mind over it, but I definitely think about it.
Yeah, and also I was going to say with the hair, you got to think about even women, even for women of our culture, women period. Your crown is important to you.
Yeah.
And attractiveness does come in your hair, So it's like that is and then for guys too, that's the same thing. So hair could make someone insecure, or they can feel as though they are not attractive. Now I can also say too, in that different types of hairstyles. If you think about different hairstyles in culturally, it's different. If whether depending on what culture you are, the hairstyle matters. So yeah.
Yeah. I could do the Kojak or the Airbender look, depending on what generation you can remember. Go ball or whatever. Curly. Remember Curly from the Globetrotters? I said Airbender because the little kid had no hair.
Yeah. Oh
But
yeah. Oh yeah.
the tip that's given on that is what does it say there?
Yeah. Excuse me,
It's
everybody.
going to sound cliche, but I guess it is good advice.
It says stop comparing yourself to other people and work on your inner self. If you're happy, you're at peace, and if you're at peace, you will smile.
That's true.
And that smile can light up a room, which is attractive in so many ways. Not to mention beauty is subjective.
Yeah.
And the very thing you may be insecure about may just be the one thing your future soulmate really digs.
You know what? I agree with that. The hard part is the stopping and stopping those negative thoughts and putting them to bed and doing that. That is definitely, once you get past that, she is saying, hey, start thinking this way, because that's true. What do you
Yeah.
think?
I totally agree. And also, if you think about it, a person that is secure in their own self and they don't think that of themselves as being unattractive, regardless of what anybody said, that person draws you in a positive way.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think about it, take the same person, this person's secure in how they look, they're happy, they're smiling just like they're saying, and they are a joy to be around, versus a person, that same person, being negative in how they look. You just gonna be hearing doom and gloom most of the time. They're not gonna be smiling. So if you think about it in that way, if you don't care what nobody thinks about how you look, and you know for yourself, and you got the feeling that, hey, I am beautiful in my way, in my own. I don't care what nobody thinks. Yeah, you're gonna draw people to you. You're gonna draw a lot more folks to you versus you being negative about yourself.
Well, another one that has to do with looks is number 2. I'm too fat.
Yeah, and I'm guilty. I am guilty of having that insecurity, because let me say this. Oh, do you want to go through the read first?
Listener. I mean, there's nothing to read. I mean, well, it says this is a top list. I mean, y'all, this is a common one. It's men. She said thinks men mask fat pretty well. I think dudes are more secure with being big. I don't know if they mask it or not. I think it's more of a thing where, because guys can be more bulky looking.
Yes. Yeah, I was going to say that.
But because of the physique of a woman, it's more noticeable, and how it happens. Like, so like me, I know I'm not like overly big, but I'm definitely not where I personally want to be as far as my size. But I do know that how it is, it's not as expressive. Whereas in my opinion, sometimes, like, let's say with some women, they'll have it more like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would say
Stacked.
Yeah.
And you can see like how they carry themselves, that they feel bad about it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, they do. And we do things to cover ourselves up when we're not secure about our bodies. I do it. I wear my sweaters. Yeah, I would wear a sweater in the summertime if I think that, my midsection is, out there. So, I will be, I try my best to dress accordingly, but sometimes it's hard to dress myself when I'm a little bit on the heavier side, when I've gained a little weight. But yeah, and at the same time, I am feeling, I don't feel myself. We'll say that I don't feel myself. And when I'm insecure about the extra fat, then I don't think that I am a joy to be around. But at the same time, I know that my thinking of what myself as being fat, another person doesn't see me as fat, and they'll be like, "Girl, what are you talking about? You're not fat. Look at me." They'll say, "Look at me," or they'll like, "No, you're not fat." And I say that I am, because I'm the way I look poofy, if I'm poofy, looking poofy. And also, if you got people asking you, are you expecting? Yes. Then you think you're fat, even though I wouldn't go up to anybody and ask them that, some people do. That could make you insecure, um, but yeah, the women have something to do. And if you think about a guy, if a, I would say a woman would be called out for her overweightness, her fatness, versus a guy.
This is what
quicker
I believe.
than a guy.
But I
Quicker than
think
a guy
it's
would be
I
called
think it's
out.
because, but the reason why is because of women. Like they're harder on each other. They're harder on themselves and harder on each other about size. As you well know, guys, even especially in our culture, is okay with that. Like they don't so the attacks are, the pressure is ourselves and and other women
Yeah.
are usually the challenge. Whereas with guys, that's not something we really focus on unless we mad at each other. We might say something in relations to that, and we take it better. Like your average guy, if you call me that, your average, I laugh. I won't take it as hard, if that makes
Well,
sense.
I would say this: a guy has to be really, really big for any, for yeah.
Yes.
It's, I mean,
Yeah, that makes
for a
sense.
woman,
Height too. That's another thing that's a difference. So your average height of a woman is different from an average height of a
that's
guy.
true. That's
But the
true.
weight that they're gaining is similar.
Yeah.
So it sits differently because of the height.
Yeah.
So that's
So
another thing
yeah,
that just
that's
brought to
one to me
mind.
that I work on, but I do know that because of my height and a family history of medical, of things running in the family, I have to be watchful of the weight. I have to make sure that I don't get certain things that's easy to come, in regards to like diabetes, blood pressure, heart issues.
So some of the things is things we know, things that me and Angela try to do anyway.
Yeah.
It talks about, of course, getting in shape, making sure you try to keep a well balanced diet. Don't waste energy, but use energy to exercise or to work on improve. Because if you're in shape, think about it like this: if you're in shape, or if you're got a good meal plan, diet, and all that, that's not going to do nothing but help you physically. Versus looking
Exactly.
at how doom and gloom. Just say, you know what, I want to improve my heart, my lung, my blood pressure, my liver function. I want to improve my mental health and my physical health, and just find ways. Just start looking into and researching ways to do that. I think you'll enjoy it more. Me
Yes.
and Angela always find when we go walking or go do something, we find that it's hard sometimes, but the enjoyment that we get out of it is fun.
Yeah, I like that it helps with the mental health as well. So, and that's all that, encompasses that insecurity, getting over that as well, over that particular issue. All right. This says the next one is I am getting too old for this. It's that this hits us all at some point. The thought first crossed my mind when I was in my 30s and trying to recover from a night out of drinking as if I was still in my 20s. The author. This is from the author. That's not from me. All right. All right. So it said, then it happened again in my early 40s when my body started aching doing the same activities I always had, like jogging or biking. Carrying a child on my shoulders, I'd be sore for days from doing seemingly nothing. Well, let me say this about the child thing in your 40s. All right, so Chris and I do, we had 3 kids, but 2 living. All right, so when we had the 2 kids living, all right, we were raising them, and we can't remember at any time when we felt like we were too tired to do anything. We were in our 20s, with these kids. Okay. All right. So here we are in our 40s, and we have a grandkid, and we're trying to figure out where the energy that we pulled from to raise our 2 kids versus this one grandkid. Because it's like we feel it little like, wait a minute, what's going on here? What happened to our energy? Are we getting old? We're too old for this. Too old for this.
Right.
And some things that we did. I mean, you mentioned some things that you used to do. When we first got married, before we were married, some different sports and stuff. Little things that we used to do when we were younger that we think about now. I'm too old for this. So yeah.
Yeah.
That could help. That could start an insecurity. I'm not insecure about that,
Me neither.
but it's just something to think about.
I'm okay with right now, even as I'm entering to the 50. I'm okay. I'm good with me.
Yeah.
Happy with me.
Yeah.
Number 5 is people sometimes they worry about their social status, so they say, I don't have many friends. I don't have no friends. My friend, who my friends? Friend. People don't care about me.
Yeah.
So I think everybody may feel alone at some point or time, but the reality is most people have some kind of friendship with somebody somewhere.
Yeah. Some people take that, the friend thing. Some people go overboard with that.
And then look, they say
with that
many
insecurity, of wanting to have many friends. Well, I'm gonna say this. As far as and one thing I did think about when you were younger, let's say before you got married, or it's like you had friends everywhere. You would get with this person, that person, this person, that person. Y'all, I mean, we do so much stuff, but when you get married, it's you and your spouse.
Yeah, I mean that's man, you want that to be a friend.
And some of the friendships have gone by the wayside. Now some friendships have sustained,
bestie.
but it's like
Trouble.
It's different as you get older.
Yes.
In regards to the importance of friendship, it is important, but you have somebody in your life that's important. Okay.
And the number of friends you have is not what rates you as a here's reality, bottom line, and the author even mentions this. You're not going to get along with everybody. You're not going to be friends with everybody, no matter how hard you try to say, I'm good. You want to perceive that hey, listen, if you good with everybody, that's good. You try to be good. But that doesn't mean that everybody's on that same wavelength of thinking of you, of what you are. And then there's some people that's out there that don't like nobody. They always grumpy Gus. They ain't like, and guess what? No, not me. Yeah, you. We all going to have come across people that are, oh man, they friendly and easy to get along with, and then there's some just the meshing just don't happen. That's why there's billions of us, because we all gonna click better, different lifestyle, different background, different culture, just something's different.
Yeah, and I'll just to add on to what you just said, there's so many people on this planet. All right, some folks are focused on they're being cliquish, and being just a little this is my territory, is my group of friends. But there's so many people you can learn for, so many different folks, so many different cultures, so many period. You can learn so much if you have had people that you can talk to or consider friends. But it's like not getting hung up on just here. Some people just hang around their families and that's it. But I think that widening out and getting to know different folks will help in that insecurity right there, because the more tighter that thing, what do you call it, the friendship and in what do you call it, in exclusive or whatever, inclusivity, let's say that's what I was trying to say, the more I think the insecurity would be, as opposed to being able to make friends or talk to different people, widening out. I think that's what, if you think about being human and the being able to talk to people and not, shut people out because of insecurities. That's why some people shut people out, because of insecurity. They don't want to be hurt.
Right.
But if you don't look at it in that way, and just get to know more people, different types of people, You don't have to talk every day.
And I like
You
what
know?
Cross said here. This is good advice. Angela kind of alluded to it.
Yeah.
Worry more about the quality versus the quantity of
Yes.
friends.
Yes.
You will find yourself probably less stressed. I think when you're younger, that's more of a thing you worry about. But as you get older and wiser, you realize just like gold, the quality versus if it's, you think you got a lot of gold, it can be fake gold, it can be more, ore, it can be, so just make sure it's a good quality of a friendship.
Yeah.
Makes a
Yeah.
big difference.
Definitely.
And we'll try one more.
Yes.
I don't get invited to enough events. I didn't heard you say that before. Nobody invite me nowhere.
No, I don't know when I said that. I don't know when I said that.
It's probably not often, but I remember maybe it's a while back. Maybe, but sometimes, and I think we both, okay, I will admit, we had this discussion where it's like, man, it seems like people go to stuff, but we don't get invited. Now, that's not true, but I think a discussion we had like that before. I'm 100% sure we did. And it's just more of us just ranting over something. Because we do get invited to a lot of stuff. We do go to a lot of stuff.
Well, this is it. This is pretty much what it's like. You hear about certain events later,
right?
And
that's what it was about.
But it's like everybody else was invited to the event, but it seemed like you were the only one that wasn't invited, and you probably, and that's human for other folks to for people to think that way. You like hearing everybody else think, well, you remember we was at such and so, you remember that you was there, yeah, and then you're the only one that I'm like.
There was this one particular event from a long time ago. I'm not gonna name it. It was from a special event, and everybody in our group or everybody
that
knew about it.
Yeah,
everybody knew it, and we didn't find out after. I was like, wow, that is interesting.
But I think
everybody thought we knew
with us,
too,
the way we deal with it, even though we spoke about it, but we didn't allow inculcate any resentment in us. It is what it is. It
is what it is.
And
we just kept the spice.
Give me shamo.
La 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 life. La 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 life. Spice of life, y'all. This is another one talking about understanding insecurities. We can go on forever. Phyllis should stop. So follow that path, and I'll see you at the top.
Yes. Enjoy the rest of your day, week, month, years. Bye-bye.